warrior's mindset is about conditioning the mind, body, and spirit. It takes practice, commitment, vision, goal setting, determination, sharp focus, respect, and discipline. Once you learn it, you can apply it to all aspects of your life. The warrior's mindset prepares you for the largest competition ever, the competition against self.
Hello, everybody. What's up? How are you doing? We are here with Warrior's Mindset. Warrior's Mindset is about digging down inside yourself and tapping into your mind, your body, and your spirit. You know what we do. We like to always start with a prayer because everybody needs a prayer. Even I need a prayer every day I start. So we're going to start with the serenity prayer. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. As we know what the warrior mindset represents, for 12 months of the year, there's always a principle. One of the principles I want to talk to today, I want to talk about honesty, because the guest that we have today, man, he's an honest brother. We was just talking about how one statement that I always remember, he said, the cream always will rise to the top. And sometimes we think we have to lie, maneuver, and do all these different things to get by. But I think if we learn how to stay true to ourselves, God will bless us and give us things that we cannot even imagine. What we are going to do, guys, with the man, the one and only, I don't know what to say, man. Johnny Tention, man. He's a good brother. He's a great martial artist. And as I told my students and everybody, he's one of the greatest fighters of his generation. Mr. Johnny, what's up, my brother?
Thank you, man, for having me, man. No pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm doing well.
Everything's good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And look at that smile, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be happy. You know what I'm saying?
You have to be.
So, Johnny, for the audience, can you give them a brief introduction? I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but just for the younger audience and the older, just a reminder of what you have done.
Well, my name is Johnny Tention. I'm from New York City, the Bronx. Was born in Brooklyn, but moved to the Bronx, and I've been there all my life. I started martial arts in 1989. My mother put me in martial arts because she said that I gave her father. I always tell people I gave her mother a Father's Day card because my father really wasn't around a lot, and so I gave my mother a Father's Day card. And she brought me back to her room and she gave me a kiss on the head. I never forget this. She gave me a kiss on the head and she said, "I really appreciate this, Johnny." She said, "But I'm not your father." She said, "I'm not a man." She said, "Men make men." I never forget. She said, "Men make men, and I can't do anything for you anymore. It's time for you to be around other men who can guide you with that." And she put me in a karate school. And that changed my whole, that male energy changed my whole life. This is how you look somebody in the eye. This is how you shake a hand. This is how you carry yourself. And I got into the martial arts, and I was in the school all the time with my instructor, Professor Sharif Nasheed. And then he introduced me to tournaments. And that was it. From there, I was just addicted to tournaments. It was my first, I think, passion. It was my first passion. And then I went on to to make this long story short, I went on to compete, lost a lot of events, figured out what success was, how to get better, got with a real good team of Jesse Bray, Matt Sabo, Joaquin Williams, and other guys helped me out along the way, Richard Plott, Anthony Price, Jean-Claude, just different guys, and I became a 6-time world champion, fighter of the year, took me all over the world, man, Russia, Africa, Switzerland, Spain, Argentina, Guatemala, Venezuela, just fighting all over the world, competing, and just from a kid from the Bronx, man, it just, I look back on it and I reflected just to tell I'm just amazed at what I was able to accomplish.
One thing that you hit on, I like the way you said, even in that interview, you said, "Boogie down Bronx, baby." And when y'all heard how he said Bronx, that's like when we say B Bolton more. He said he had to make sure that Bronx,
Man.
Boogie down, right?
Grown there, right there. Like I said, Brooklyn was my first place, and then we moved to the Bronx, and then all the people other than my family, that's where I met, Jesse Ray, and I could have just met so many people once I moved to the Bronx and got to mention different parts of the borough. But that's
awesome, brother. But the other thing you said when you said you gave your mom, a Father's Day card, would you make me think about as being, before my great wife came into my life, it was just me and my son. And I used to always tell him, I'm not your mom. You know, yes. But I knew he needed that soft part, you know. And I think that's important for people to understand what we can't complete.
Yes.
And I think that's what we both were saying. We know what we can't complete.
Yes.
Because Marco, even today, he will always say, yeah, you my mom, you my dad. No, I'm not. I can't.
Yes, sir.
No, I can't do that. But what, you know, finding my wife and her bringing that, it was hard.
Yeah,
She was giving too much freedom. Get pissed off, you know what I'm saying? You know, I a little messed up. But I think that's so important for people, for us as teachers and as moms and as dads, single or together, to recognize our roles, because once we become a master of that position, they will intertwine.
Yes.
I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, you know, you led earlier with honesty, and the beautiful thing that you just said, from me listening to you earlier, you said, I just love the way you just put that. You said we should know what we can't complete. That takes an honest mindset and a certain kind of humility, right? To know that this is not what it should be, and what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of. And I think that mindset is what has allowed me to be extremely successful in my life, and extremely successful in sparring on the mat as well. Those lessons transcend not just on the mat, but off the mat, and vice versa, right? To know what we are, to analyze it and go, this is not enough. Let me improve it or plug it somehow and get different help, network different ways. So, man, that was a beautiful, powerful statement.
That's right. But you know, man, love you, man.
I love you back, brother.
Because I had to go to jail to get that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish for no kid to ever go to that, because, and to be able to get that lesson, but know that that lesson is what makes us complete.
Yeah, yes.
We got to analyze ourselves. Martial arts sometimes can make us believe that we have arrived. Every day, look, every day we wake up, what we say on the back of the shirt, a black belt, a white belt, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what I feel that, Jody, every time we talk, man, and I think that's what got me emotional, bro, because you've been that. And I think the world and the students need to know that good people, good martial artists, real champions are that. We are real. Whatever we plant at that moment when we walk away, like you did with my son.
Sorry, Eddie. That's all right, brother. That's what we're here for.
When he will always remember the impact that you made on him when you was just being Jody.
Yes, sir.
You was just out there winning, but the man that you are now has always been that young kid. You know, my wife said it's funny. She was like, everywhere Marco went, it was Jody this, Jody that. It was Jody so much, I wanted to beat him up, brother. I mean, what is that like, Jody, to know that people looked up to you and you know that you're in that position, even now, where when we asked you to come, you shouldn't be doing this, man. He said, can I talk to your son? In the midst of doing all this,
yes, I remember that.
You said, can I get Marco's number?
Yeah.
And we seen each other at tournaments and everything.
Yes.
But at that one moment, you said, can I get your son's, can I get Marco's number?
And I called him.
Yeah, you called him. Sorry, man.
It's all right. No, it's all right.
What is that like, Jody, to understand that responsibility that God has given you?
Well, you know, the physical abilities that we have, that's God given, right? Your parent, you get your mom and your dad have a child, and you get their attributes and you get their athleticism. Don't get no credit for that. That's God given. Your character is 100% on you. If you want to be an arrogant prick, if you want to be an idiot, you want to have the ego. And I always tell people this ego is like water. You need it to live, but too much would drown you, right? And when you get so consumed to think that the tournament wins, that the ninth degree attempt to be, that's you, that's not me. That's like a part of what I do, but I'm somebody's son. I'm somebody's father. I'm somebody's brother. I'm somebody's friend. I'm somebody's fiance. Is that all of those things mean more to me than anything I've ever won in a tournament. Tournament is just allows me to have the platform. And I think that if we keep striving to be better people, the honesty that you mentioned earlier, is when I was with it, it wasn't enough for me. I was like, I got to be more. I'm making a mistake. Right? Even today, I don't like watching my videos because I see my errors. I made a mistake there. Should have faded there more. No matter if I won, I always look at it. Could have got better, right? So I think if you take that and you apply it to yourself, it allows you to be a big brother to other people. So when I speak to Marco, I'm speaking to him like, I have more life experiences. Let me check up on my brother. Because my mother used to tell me this, old men for counsel. And I don't want to say old in a sense, but she said, old men for counsel, young men for war.
Yeah.
We're supposed to counsel.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody lives long enough to make all the mistakes, to learn from them. But the mistakes that we learn, we're supposed to go, hey, check this out. I made this mistake. Don't you do this. There's some things you got to go through on your own, but don't you do this. And we have to be there and we have to extend ourselves to the next generation. That's our job.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I'm just sending the elevator back down like somebody did for me.
Yeah, that's right, brother. But I think what's so powerful that everybody's checking this out, that's what martial arts is all about. You said one thing even too when you talk about ego. What I learned is that ego is a flip side that's called easing God out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do when the ego is there. It's good. But peace lost, easing God out. You know what I'm saying? I would want that sort of responsibility. Hope you're enjoying the show. Want to tell you about something that's dear to my heart. My book, The Warrior's Mindset Daily Devotions. Pick up your copy by hitting the link below. Remember, if your principles are negotiable, you don't have principles. Be the warrior from the inside out. But like you said, we got to give it back, man. And tapping for me with that, when we talk about the Bronx, we talk about New York. Let me just say one thing, brother. As a Kung Fu stylist, the first time competing at S. Henry Cho's All-American Championship.
It's a goodbye.
S. Henry Cho All-American Championship. You knew what that tournament was like, brother.
That was big time.
That was big time. But, bro, I'm a little kid coming in from Baltimore on the Greyhound bus. That's what New York was like crazy. It was like the warrior, right?
Yes, 100% right. 100%, especially when you talking about Henry Cho, you talking about early 80s.
Brother, you so great. You try to act like you got it, but you just remember these images. And brother, I remember when I went to that tournament and I won. And I got tied up. Who was it? Man, who was that? He gonna bust me up because I remember his name, though. But anyway, I got tied up and I won the tournament. I was so afraid. Got back in the car. Got back in the on the subway. Went back home.
Yeah.
I ain't even say to be around on TV. But the point I'm trying to make, ever since I went to New York, because I love the martial arts, it's been nothing but love in New York, man. And I know that back then, and even to this day, I don't give a nobody say, if you want to be good, you have to get.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? You know. So I really appreciate that, man, and just knowing the genuine, that not you, everybody. I have never met anybody, no martial arts that came from New York. Jesse Ray, everybody, man, even Fred Hamilton, because I competed in the Battle of the Dojo. Brother, I'm going back, right?
You going back to the stories I heard about.
Oh, man, it was incredible, man. But just once again, to know the skill set, to know the demand that you guys place on yourself. Because I know back in the world of sports karate, ain't nobody want to compete in New York. The stereotype was like, go to California, it's beach parties and have a good time. Go to New York, you're going to have to prove yourself, man. But what was that like for you to have to prove your level of excellence to get the respect and the status that you are today as a martial artist?
Well, for me, my journey was a little bit different because I didn't have the big network of friends like that. I was in my school, and my instructor, he had moved from New York to Washington, D.C. Okay. So I was just an underbelt looking for. I knew I wanted to compete. So I remember going to a tournament. I didn't know anybody because we was just in the school. You know back then, just to divert a little bit, each school is almost like a gang almost to some degree, right? Like, and or like you didn't really socialize with the way there wasn't no Facebook when you had a friend. You didn't socialize, so I only knew the people inside the school. So once he moved, I said I gotta figure out where I'm gonna go to, and then I knew there was a tournament in New York, and I went to this tournament. This is crazy. I didn't know anybody, and I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, This gentleman looked at me. He said, "How you doing?" I said, how you doing, brother? What's going on?" He said, "I'm good. You know, we had to compete." I was like, "No, I'm not." I said, "I'm actually looking for an instructor." Whoa, okay, right? He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know this guy."
Yeah.
He said, "You see that guy right over there with the hat with the metal thing on it, like a Janet Jackson control hat?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "His name is Master Sabu. Go talk to him. That's my instructor." He shook my hand and said, "My name is Akin Williams." First guy, okay, right? In Brooklyn. So I go, I introduce myself to Master Sabu. He said, "Yeah, you come down anytime. This is where I'm at. This is the address." I said, "Thank you." I took his name and I was like, I'm gonna go down there. Again, I could have met anybody as a first person, right? So I go back and I sit at this table by myself. I sit at the table by myself. This guy comes, sits at the table, and we just sitting there like we're not really saying anything to each other because I don't know him, he don't know me. And he said, "Man, you look familiar." I said, "You kind of look familiar a little bit too." He said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from the Bronx." He said, "He's from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx also." He said, what's who you go to?" I said, "Stevenson High School." "I go to Stevenson High School." And I was like, "Really?" So we just laughing and talking. We chopping it up. We laughing, we talking. And then he goes, at the end of the conversation, he said, "Hey man, he gets up, he walks away. He might have took 2 steps. He came back and said, 'Oh, by the way, my name is Jesse Ray.'"
Oh man,
It was crazy, right? And so I met Akin and Jesse back to back. I got his phone number. I said, "I would like to come train with you." And those two, that whole Masabu, Akin, and Jesse changed the whole dynamic, right? So when I started training with them, so I would go, Masabu was my official instructor. I would go to Brooklyn, but Jesse was up the block. So if I didn't go to Masabu, I go straight to Jesse. And Jesse embraced me like he knew me. Jesse always been that guy. He embraced me like he'd known me for years. And he helped me. He used to say this, "You got a lot of potential." The first time we sparred, he said, "You got a lot of potential." He said, "You got to learn to use your hands," right? And I was kicking all day, so you got to use your hands. And then he would just keep saying this. I would go compete with them. He would have kind of had me like that little brother, him and Arkin, but I would lose. I would be taking 8th. These guys would be taking 1st place, 2nd place, grand, and I'm taking 8th, 7th place. And this is what Jesse would always do though. Matt Sabu would always say, you're gonna be so good one day." He said, "You're not gonna have no time for me." That's what he told me. And Jesse would go, "Man, one day." This is what he would do. "You're gonna be good one day." Now mind you, I'm older than Jesse. "You're gonna be good one day." And just to kind of, because I know our time, one day, this is in 94 net. We got an invite to go try out for DKT. Yeah. So we took the Greyhound from New York to DC and to the cab from DC to Virginia to go train, right? We took $100 cab.
You was out of space. All right,
It was me, Jesse Ray, Frank Jones, Chris Styles. It was all 4 of us. We went to try for the team. Sean Elliott was there. The Campo was there, right? John Jenkins, yeah. So it was all there. And then at the end of the workout, he said, it was 4 of us. He said, he looked at Jesse. He said, "We would like you on the team." He looked at Frank. He said, "We would like you on the team." He looked at Chris Styles and said, "We would like you on the team." He looked at me. He said, "Man, you got a lot of potential with you. You're not there quite yet." Right?
You had one of those?
I had one of those. So we go outside, and Jesse says to me, "Hey, listen, man." I said, "Jesse, you go ahead and do it. Y'all brothers is better than me. You go ahead and do it." He said, "They don't take all of us. They don't take none of us." And I was like, no, Jesse. No. Dude, you go. He said, "Nope. And they don't take all of us, Jotty. They don't take none of us." Now, mind you, we 23. I'm older than Jesse. So you just 21, 22. And listen to him talking to me. If they don't take all of, and he didn't know me. I just met him a year ago, baby.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it just put a fire in me that the honesty, as you said earlier, enough, it wasn't enough. Yeah. Right? My ego could have been like, "Nah, I deserve it." And I was like, I had to get better. And you know what's so funny? I started training. I started reading books on success. I started doubling up my training. And then I started being successful, right? And then I started winning. And I was the guy that everybody used to laugh at or say he wasn't good. And I remember Ron Jenkins said this to me. He said, "One of my biggest regrets was not picking you on that team. I didn't know you was going to become this." And I was like, "I appreciate you telling me that." but that I needed that because that's fueled me. Had I gotten on that team, I might have felt like I arrived. It was enough.
Yeah.
My ego and and it wasn't. So, coming up with that, and it just was my determination, man. My level of excellence that I had for myself, me wanting to be great. I didn't want to be good, man. I wanted to be great. Yeah. And I think that mentality, and again, the word that you just said earlier, brother, I was always telling myself it's not enough. Always. So that led me to get to this.
In closing, one of the things you said that brought me, that even brought some up when you said, well, no, guys, get on the team. And Jesse and them said, nah, if you ain't on it, I ain't on it. And you remember your teammate, Kimber Johnson, when y'all was on the league.
Yes.
What nobody don't know is this story, brother, where when we wanted Barco to be on Elite and we went to Charlie Lee's at this particular time and everybody wanted everything, we went to the meeting and they said, well, he can't be on it. And Miss Kimber was already on the team. And she just said, nah, if he can't be on it, we going to go do our own team. That's what started me coming back to compete.
Wow.
I hated tournaments. I was done from competing.
You say you so can we?
But that moment, man, for her to be what you saying, to be that honest and say, look, no, we a team. This is loyalty. And that's what you, in the midst of what you're saying right there, because all of y'all decided to make that commitment to be formed. Brotherhood,
yes,
a team, that then transferred to what y'all got right now. The same thing. Am I correct?
Yes.
Anybody out there listening, once again, be honest, be committed, be loyal. Most importantly, that brotherhood goes beyond just what we do in the tournament. It goes to moments like this. You know what I'm saying? The great Jody Tention. I know we closing out. I know you want to say hello to Kimber Johnson. You know she right there.
Where's she at?
Right there. You ain't see her sneak in. She hiding, bro.
I see the brother right there, but I don't see.
No, move, Mr. Move.
There she go.
Anything you want to say, Jody? I mean, kid, and I always end like this. Kid got 60 seconds. He's saying it's done. I don't know what to do. It's over. What you want to say to him to make a change?
I remember going through some difficulties when I was trying to fight for custody for my children. And I remember me wanting a passport to take my children out the country. And at the time, their mother didn't want to let me have the passport. Knowing that it just didn't want, whatever, right? So I was upset and I was frustrated about it. And the judge was like, well, we'll talk about that later, right? So I called my mother. I was upset about it. She said to me, she said, Jody, delayed, not denied. And she said, you got to know when something is delayed, not denied. And sometimes every situation is temporary. It's a delay. It's not denied. And sometimes we have to learn that when things don't go our way, patience is not waiting. Patience is your attitude when you're waiting, right? So delayed in life. Things are delayed in life. They don't go our way. It's not denied. It's only denied when you give up and you stop. I leave for Mexico with my children on Monday. It's delayed. It's not denied.
Yeah. God is good. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell them how to hook up with Mr. Jody Tention. Give him the emails. Give him the websites. Give him the AOL. Okay, he's I still use AOL, brother. No, they be like, babe, what's up with this? My wife be trying to get me to get off of it.
Man, you been listening to Kimber. So my honesty, you been listening to Kimber. My name is Jody Tention, JADITENTION. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at TCK Modern Martial Arts. And my email is at tension at tckwarriors.com. I'm always around. You can inbox me, follow me, check me out. Again, Instagram, TCK Modern Martial Arts, and Jody Tention on Facebook. And as well, the TCK Modern Martial Arts on Facebook as well.
That's it, y'all. We out because he ready to do a seminar. We ready to get pumped up. See ya!
My brother. Appreciate you, man.
I'm a DJ Cool. Let me clear my throat.
Make the most of my rotations, record spinning, dropping the needle. I just wanna be the best I can be, best around. Joe Esposito, testing the limits to see how far we go. Reaching up higher than Shaquille O'Neal though. Still come up shorter than Danny DeVito, but that doesn't mean that you suffered defeat. So born black in a country that doesn't like when you talk back. Claim freedom of speech for the price of a sponsor that. Ignorance is rewarded with more cash, while we're minimum wage working DoorDash. Tank is empty, needing more gas. What I do is switch up the format. You won't step on me like I'm a doormat. Allow me to set it straight. I just wanna get away. I am planning my escape, praying for better days. Close my eyes and meditate till I start to levitate. Looking down from the sky, I just wanna elevate. I just wanna elevate. Elevate, elevate, elevate. Put your hands up if you're feeling me. Put your hands up if you're feeling me. They don't pay attention till it escalates. Making history for every step we take. Don't stop until we find a better way. In a way, that's the way that you elevate. I was raised in an era where you look at the man in the mirror and you feel just a little embarrassed. If everything was so generic, mental nourishment, but you're serving me like a lunch lady with a hairnet. If you're careless, then I care less. Whatever comes out of your larynx. And on fairness, I'm prepared to parry like the man with the iron mask, with a metal face like I'm Dr. Doom or I'm Deathstroke with the Baroness. Baroness, bear with me. I'm on my grizzly till the day that they bury me. Leave a legacy built on longevity. Resurrected when chariots carry me. Allow me to set it straight. I just wanna get away. I am planning my escape, praying for better days. Close my eyes and meditate till I start to levitate. Looking down from the sky, I just wanna elevate. I just wanna elevate. Elevate, elevate, elevate. Put your hands up if you're feeling me. Put your hands up if you're feeling me. They don't pay attention till it escalates. Making history for every step we take. Don't stop until we find a better way. In a way, that's the way that you elevate. The world is on fire, but we gotta keep it cool. You have to reset when it's changing the rules. They think that we're all just so dazed and confused. The main ingredient is everybody plays a fool. But I got news for you, like I'm the Washington Post. Before I go ghost, ghost with the most. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, seem the truth, meaning more shocking than Pikachu. Inconceivable, unbelievable. If you can't see what's achievable, then you leave it to people who can see it through. Teach the next generation with time and patience. Know what I'm saying? You must test the limits, see where your ceiling is. See the meaning of seeking the ceiling is. Reaching for higher heights, like I'm climbing a mountain peaking. The journey's revealing, working through the nights and weekends. We can see the results of when you gritting your teeth and believe in yourself and be all you can be. And so celebrate. Inspire, create, and elevate.
My brother, appreciate you.